people a little bit about who I am, what we are as a publisher and a comic book store. And then we have pre-millennium comics, post-millennium comics, and then the future, which is hopefully offset printing within the Erotic Comic world. So a little bit about us. I own a comic store called Stoop Shop, and we have a publishing imprint inside of that called Stoop Shop. And Stoop Shop is a queer, trans, focused, adults-only comic book publisher. We'll be doing other kind of publications in there as well, but mostly comic books. And I'm very excited to release some of our first books this year. So, pre-millennium comics. What's really important to know is that at this time, serialized issues were much more common in single form than they were now. We still have superhero comics that are in single print form, but at this point, it was much easier to have like a monthly sort of subscription base without doing that. So you often find there would be a story that would go on like monthly or quarterly, and those are all offset print. And sort of explain kind of like what an offset print press is. There's a picture right here. Without going too technical, it is basically having the ink interact with water. So when the paper goes through, the plate which has the image on it then offsets the image onto the paper without any sticky sort of residue. It's like a very clean process, and it's also extremely fast. So hence the reason why this is still even used today for most books that you might find out in the world. Large probability of using offset still. First off, we have Tits and Flicks. Great title. Pretty much tells you exactly what it is. This is an early 80s title that, again, all black and white. Pretty much just using black ink to save money, but also to, it was just like kind of very common at the time to do that. And it's still somewhat common today, but what's really cool is you have like really colorful colors and everything that go along with, inside being black and white. Gay heartthrobs, very, very spicy. We love it. Another really great story behind this. I got this recently at Red Emma's, actually. So shout out to Red Emma's. If you want more Erotic Comics, they have more there this week. Yeah, it's just a lot of adult fun. Different artists and genres. It's more closer to like the mid-80s. And so this book right here is the first one that's not single issue kind of format. It's more like a book, but it's also manga. So coming from Japan, before manga was really well known in the States, they would be reformatted to be read from left to right, and more in like a book format like that we're familiar with. So you can see like publishers like Erotic Comics and I believe there's a number of them that kind of like popularized manga and comic book form in the US. This particular book is very like raunchy, tentacle stuff, like also very horror-like, and honestly I think that's a really big influence artists here up till today, with there being kind of this like body horror, like erotica that really comes from Japan. So very cool book. And as we get into the 90s, we still have Erotic Comics here, and this is kind of a play on like superhero comics, but make it like porn. So really fun, really like in your face, and you can even see here all the Erotic Comics that have a catalog in the back. where you could look at like other comics that were like in production at the time or coming up, or and you could like send them a letter with like your payment choice, check or money order, and they would then go to your comics. So this is going to be extra important because, as we all know, who trusts Meta? Nobody trusts Meta. Don't trust them. So we might be seeing this format actually really come back in a big way, having catalogs, and it's something that we've thought of a lot as we come out with our comics, that we want to make sure that alternative forms of support outside of the popular structures. Another really fun one, Bondage Girls at War, another same issue, all black ink, very much like lesbian, meaning, super fun, full of a lot of taboo spaces. And then Gabby Go. This one's actually about a devil who appears in Gabby's life and sort of makes it extremely sexualized. Like she starts hallucinating and seeing a lot of things that aren't really there, but then actually like kind of possessing other people to then like have sex with her, even in like the bathroom. And it's really fun. It's really weird. I only have this one issue, but I'm sure the story gets that much more weird as it goes on. But you can see like in the 90s, things kind of like change a little bit stylistically, where like you can kind of see the influence like Tiny Hernandez and like Erotic Market, all of this style where like the edges are much more smoother along like facial features and even the clothing and the zoom out of what used to be very common. So you can sort of see like there's a bunch of small panels here, because like the earlier 90s comic. And you sort of there's more detail and there's less panels. So yeah, that's gotta be good. So as we get into the post-millennium, this is where things start to change. So by this point, Xerox comics and zines are already kind of a revolution in their own way. The DIY scene is very much alive. People are kind of tired of, relying on large printers to do their work for them. Like, at the time, in the pre-millennium, you pretty much rely on those large printers to be able to publish your comics. And if it was porn or if it was like collectors, you might find some resistance to them wanting to publish it. And you'd be like, hey, can you print this? But no, we're not going to print that. Absolutely not. So there's much more of a focus on DIY from early 2000s and even 90s, but mostly now. So also it's still accessible, but it became a lot less accessible to indie publishers. And that's where you see laser abstract kind of popping up. Like, it's a very old medium, but here's where it's kind of really being reshaped in indie comics. So first we have Memory. This is a very cool anthology. Something that changed, I think, a lot more too is, as I mentioned, there's a lot of single issues in the pre-millennium era. Post-millennium, a lot more like anthologies, books, things that aren't necessarily like single titles as much as they are like everyone contributing to one sort of publication and having that be, something like the end of volume 25. All different styles, all different artists, plenty of things to go around. Personally, one of my favorites. And we actually got it on sale at our booth. So if you want that, here you go. Some of you might know about Erotic Art Market. He is like so seminal within the gay comics world, specifically in Japan. And Passion, the Erotic Art Market, came out in 2010, I believe it was 2013. works sort of in single issue form in Japan, and much more like magazine, like compilations that he and some other artists have put together. I forget the title, but it was kind of like a smaller anthology of a book that people would then, kind of be more underground. And then since having been discovered in the US, this is a fancy graphics book, and it's translated and brought more to like a larger audience in the US. It's very, very, very like he goes in. A lot of pain for pleasure kind of stuff, humiliation, and yeah, it's like some really deep reads, which I personally like. So that's like a very big turning point. Erotic anime kind of is making that in Japan as like the new wave of gay, male, like hardcore porn artists for art. Fast forward a little bit, some of that now is being rolled up, and this is again the graphics publication called Massive with Erotic and a number of other artists that are also part of that sphere, putting together these like very macho kind of like men getting fucked and like sweating and like committing each other and putting each other in situations that are very like taboo, but also they're done very tastefully. And it's just a very interesting time. I've actually noticed that a lot of this era of comics and these comics have influenced people today. So, keep looking for them. I highly recommend these books. Type C. This is a newer book by Rebecca Mock, and it's not necessarily as erotic as some of the other ones I've shown. But what I really like about it is that it sort of plays on much more of like dom dynamics. So there's like a whole story here with like this like sort of godlike creature that has like on this little like slave boy that is like so happy to be like crushed underneath like their heel. And so it's just a really interesting story where like there's a lot of taste going on, but again, not a lot of explicit sexual content. So Rebecca Moss was at first, she's amazing. Occult Leads. So this is a fairly recent book, done printed and put together by Dark Spark, sorry. And this is kind of taking it like that anthology format and, kind of upping the scale with Rizzo. Up until this point, I've seen graphic anthologies that do really well, but I would say Dark Spark is really taking that to the next level and really put a lot of high quality time and energy into their books. So it's actually all around the cult, and their other publications revolve around other topics that have related to them. So like cult leads is this one, fantasy leads, all around fantasy, sci-fi leads, like sci-fi kind of like take on it, and yeah, they're gonna keep going, and we'll always have stuff in the shop because it's so amazing. For anybody who loves BL and maybe Star Trek fan, we have in Captain's Quarters, which is meant to be a manga. And it kind of takes like what I was mentioning earlier about like manga inspiration. We have the lightsaber deck here, she's great. And there's a full range of erotic comic media that I feel like right now, especially, artists are taking and sort of making their own spin on it. So even though like the style you can tell is a lot more like a combination of like East and West, it's very much also inspired by Eastern artists. So yeah, great story, very spicy, and girl boys. and bands out there will love this. Okay, so we're not just kind of looking at the future, because some of the examples I've shown you are digitally printed, offset printed, but I think one of the main points that is that we're all kind of struggling to make it happen. And anytime you have an idea that someone doesn't want to be out there, it becomes more and more difficult to put out there. So I have this quote from Troy Pernito book, Politics and the Joy of Printing. Very amazing book. It's in relation to the Detroit Printing Co-op, which was created to basically print leprosy books and pamphlets, and there was also a shop that anybody could use at any time, learn how to run the machines, and basically like a community resource. So in this book, the author is in the late 1960s and early 70s, it was difficult to find presses willing to print left publications. Offset presses have been used commercially for many years by then, and printers started replacing their early 20th century machines with new ones. As secondhand offset presses arrived on the market, independent groups of radicals were able to acquire them cheaply and set up their own print shops. It feels very eerily accurate now, honestly. And I really do think that this is the future that we have to take on ourselves as queer artists, as people of color, as anyone who is being discriminated by the mainstream right now, to be able to combat like us being erased, So one of the reasons offset is the answer is it's been around for the entire time of modern printing. It hasn't gone away despite all of the technological advances in digital printing. Digital printing still can't do the volume of books that offset printing can do. And like anything, print is a primary source of ideal distribution. It is a really great way to fight the censorship of social media platforms and companies that just don't want us to be out there. So another advantage is that we can get our stories kind of out there harder. Using these print technologies in the past, there's knowledge out there. I'm a printmaker. I know a number of people who have the knowledge, and I really want to spread it. So if you all know anyone who wants to print porn and wants to learn how to print, this is kind of where we're going as a publisher in the next couple of years. And yeah, I'm really excited to do that. So that's pretty much it. This is my contact info. I guess I can open up to the floor. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask? No? Cool. Thank you. Oh, offset printers, like people currently? People liquidating their businesses. So it's exactly the same as the first print going. I see it all the time on Facebook Marketplace. Like, there's a lot of, we're in a very, very interesting part where it's kind of the changing of the guard. And a lot of people carrying this knowledge are not going to be around for much longer. Arguably, they say a lot of my net, and they probably don't need to be around to exist. So I don't feel bad about it, but I do want to take that knowledge and repurpose it for us, and repurpose that technology for reasonable users. So there are persons out there right now that's kind of sitting, right, being bought for like $100, $500, and the biggest thing is, space, time, and being able to build it all up.
You mentioned risograph.
Yes.
Can you explain that process?
For sure, risograph. Thank you. Risograph is basically a Japanese copy machine that prints differently than a normal copy machine because it has individual cartridges with colors. So
Is this like an inkjet printer with a copier?
it's like it's not quite an inkjet printer. What it'll do is it'll create this like banana paper film with your image on it, so it scans your image and basically takes that and like pokes sort of like holes out of this banana paper, and then when it goes to print, it pushes the ink through those holes. And they're very fine, so you can get like very tight grain and color, really cool stuff. And in fluorescent colors that you can't get with inkjet printers, which is also why it's so well adopted by the artist world. But they're also very prone to breaking. Basically all the parts are plastic. It's a fun machine. Our experience so far has been we love it, we love using it, but ultimately you spend more time fixing it than you do printing. So it's still amazing. That's why I kind of offset is the big answer to like what is this, because they're much more reliable. Any questions? Anybody else? No? Cool. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been great to talk about nerdy stuff that's also really important. And yeah, I'll have this online for anybody else who wants to look. There's some more other books in the back of this appendix. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. Oh, and we have a table over there with 2 stickers and some of the books I showed you. Come say hi.